Welcome to Often Pacing on Tab Radio Racing and Sport. Tim Walker will be joined by Matt Young and Oliver County as they delve into the form for today's Pinjarra harness meeting, as well as an early look at tomorrow's meeting at Gloucester Park. We are Often Pacing.
It's a very good morning, everybody. Welcome along to another edition of Often Pacing this Monday morning, the 22nd of April. It is great to have your company off the back of an incredible Friday night at Gloucester Park as the second Western Trilogy was put into the books and the second Nullarbor. Again, it goes east with Catch Away for Kate and Andy Gath in the Regency Foods slot. And two men that were keeping a very close eye on it all, and I'm looking forward to getting their summary of it all this morning, Ollie County and Matt Young. Ollie, to you firstly, a very good morning.
Morning, Tim.
And Matt, good morning to you once again.
Good morning, Tim. Good morning, Ollie. Everyone tuned in.
Well, Ollie, let's start with you. We'll get the replay of the Nullarbor in just a moment, but watching on from afar, how did you enjoy Friday nights?
It was fantastic. I thought the whole weekend of racing was just brilliant how they did it, and it's turning into like a really popular concept now. So the Nullarbor was everything it promised to be in the end. It was just a brilliant tactical battle that unfolded through the race. Catch Away got the perfect trip in the end off a really, really strong tempo, and he was able to come over the top. There was plenty of hard luck stories in behind, never-ending, jumping Jack Mack that were taken out of it by a bit of inconvenience. But it was a fantastic race in the end, and I'm sure the Freo Cup will be good again this week.
It certainly will. That's the thing to point out, is it's really only half time. We've got a Retrovision Fremantle Cup to look forward to. We're at it again this Friday night and looking forward to seeing the nominations when they do drop. All right, Matt was down there as well as part of the broadcast, so we'll come back and get his thoughts after we've heard the closing stages. This is Richie Bell's description of the second running of the Nullarbor.
He's raced up and taken the lead. Coming after him is Hot and Treacherous. Catch a Wave is out wider. No Run for Never Ending. And just behind them, Jumping Jack Mack. And then Swing Band around the turn. Minstrel in 28.8. Just in front. Hot and Treacherous. Here's Catch a Wave 3 wide. Swing Band is 4 deep in the straight. Minstrel, Catch a Wave on the outside. Minstrel, Catch a Wave. Catch a Wave. Katie Gaff has stormed to the front. Catch a Wave in front of Minstrel. Swing Band. Catch a Wave in front, and she's done it. Catch a Wave has won.
So he was the best credentialed horse that we've seen across two editions of the Nullarbor, was Catch a Wave, with the Chariots and also a Miracle Mile on the CV. He can add a Nullarbor to that now. And Ollie, firstly, so you touched on it there. He was certainly a big draw card for the race, and you touched on a few of the beaten brigade, but just the run that he got throughout, he was always going to be very hard to hold out.
He was, and the other one that was just absolutely out of this world, I thought, was Lavra Joe. He went forward, he couldn't get a position, and he had to go back, and then he absolutely rocketed to the line late. So any luck in that race, if he got in early, I think he just about would have been winning. So he was desperately unlucky, and he will be one to follow in the Freo Cup this week. Yeah,
looking forward to seeing what he draws. Matt, you were obviously there for Tab Radio on the night alongside Trent Cooper and had the chance to watch the replay a couple of times and obviously spoke to Andy Gath, who was outstanding with his time post-race on Friday night, it must be said. And for him and Kate as well in the build-up to it, they were terrific. But you've had a couple of days to sit on it now. What's been your takeaways from it?
Yeah, look, I think there was a few really good drives in the race. Kate Gath, she was able to hold that move from Junior, and there's going to be an inquiry about it.
Yes.
Not sure how far that will go, but there was a bit happening in that. Got a little bit tight coming up towards the home turn. So, look, there was just plenty of moves in the race. We see the news of Lavra Joe will be driven by Gary Hall Jr. this Friday night. I will quite happily come out and say I thought that's maybe a little bit harsh. Of course, Connections are able to do what they please, but at the same time, I didn't think Cole did too much wrong in the race, but that's without knowing everything from both sides. So, yeah, I thought Lavra Joe's performance was outstanding. I thought Cole Symington's drive on Swing Band was brilliant. He was able to flush Kate Gath into going, and he was in the A1 position until Junior reminded Cam Hart that he was in WA and shoved him out 3 wide with a lap to go. So once that happened, then Hot and Treacherous was 3 wide and Never Ending's in the centre and Catch a Wave's all of a sudden in the A1 position. I thought Minstrel got into the race and was able to control, and maybe Hot and Treacherous has made Minstrel work a little bit harder than he expected to get around the outside. So, yeah, there's plenty to look at in the event. I thought Mighty Ronaldo was a decent run. This horse is a bloke who isn't really known for sitting one off and doing a lot of chasing, and in a 1.5 lead time he was stretching his neck at one off the pegs and really chasing that hot speed, and he was only beaten 9 metres, so I thought he went well. Jumping Jack Mac was so unlucky. Blitzen by for all the, I guess, the negative feedback we've heard in the last week about him getting the final slot. He was good, and it was sort of a race run perfect for him, but he hit the line pretty well. Without getting a great deal of luck. Watching Never Ending again, it's just, I'm starting to think those colours of Ladbrokes are actually cursed. The same thing happened the year before with Magnificent Storm, both horses sideways looking for runs on the turn. So, yeah, he was really unlucky, Never Ending, and Gary Hall Jr. mentioned that he was going to play a part in the finish. So there's so many different tales and different stories and convoluted storylines you could look at with every horse in the race. I just thought it was a fantastic race. It had what we wanted to see and what was probably devoid in the previous year with the Raiders taking it away. With Catch a Wave taking this race, you walk away from it and go, they deserved it. And I think anyone in their right mind would be happy and really stoked for Regency Foods and Robbie Tomlinson for the amount of effort they put into promoting the race and Catch a Wave, as you mentioned, Tim, Kate and Andy Gath just being so great with their time and allowing the media as well as people and participants to be able to see them and text as well and Catch a Wave. So I just thought it was an amazing race, and the build-up in the last week to the event was absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, it certainly was. It delivered on the hype and just on Regency Foods, absolutely. We tip our cap to what Rob Tomlinson and the team did there alongside Scotty Hamilton in the build-up on social media, and obviously the giveaway as well here on Tab Radio. I know our listeners were very, very excited to not only get a Regency Foods prize pack, but for one of our lucky listeners in Crackers was able to get along on Friday night, got to meet Kate and Andy and also Catch a Wave, or as he's known, Tex, and he'll be back at it again on Friday night in the Fremantle Cup. Just before we get the horses to follow from you, gents, Ollie, you're obviously over there. You're able to see these horses up close. What's Catch a Wave, what he's been able to achieve over the past 12 months with what he did in the Chariots and also the Miracle Mile, adding that, coming over here at Nullarbor, 2,500 metres, there was the question which was well and truly put to bed. Just how good has he been for harness racing over the past 12 months?
I think the fact he's at times been a bit of an enigmatic horse has made the interest in him even greater. I think he was just outstanding in the Miracle Mile in the Chariots. He was a brilliant winner. He wasn't actually favoured to win either of the races, I don't think, but he came out and won impressively. And then ever since, there's probably been the slight query on him running a trip at the top level. But as Matt said earlier, he really did put those to bed and showed that he ran through the line really, really strongly in the end. And you could see him prick his ears over the line. So you'd think that off-driven the same way, there's no questioning whether he'll be able to run out the Freo Cup trip next week. So I think going forward, he's really shown that he is a versatile horse and he can race at a mile or he can race over the long trip. And either way, he's a Grand Circuit horse. So super, super interesting to see what unfolds over the next 12 months for Catch a Wave.
All right, now we're going to get stuck into today's meeting very shortly, and Greg Bond will join us after that. He will give us the fallout from Friday night going towards this week and see if we can find a winner midweek along the way. They certainly have a couple of nice chances, do Team Bond. But first and foremost, horses to follow from Friday night. So, Ollie, fire away.
Race 9, Karana in the stand start. He made an absolute mess of the start and turned his 10-metre handicap into 20 metres. Ended up a long, long way back, and he absolutely flew late into third. And I think if he can improve his manners a little bit at the start, it'll be really, really competitive because he finished third behind a couple of pretty smart horses there. And then my other horse to follow was Grand Coteau in race 11. She was the first horse 3 wide, and they ran home at 26 there. And I thought she was absolutely super to stick on for a pretty close up fourth. And she was able to hold off Lenora Jane late. So I thought Grand Coteau, maybe not against Waterloo, but in another race, she can be really competitive, I think.
Been a real star over the last couple of months has Waterloo, and yes, there'll be plenty of fillies looking to avoid her going forward. I'll certainly hope that she avoids the 3-year-old fillies races. All right, Matt, what have you got to take out of Friday nights?
Yeah, look, there's one that I'd like to highlight as well as follow going forward. It's going to be hard for him to win too many races because he is on a very hard mark, but I just thought the performance of While They Pray has to be commended. The performance of Michael George as a trainer has to be commended. This horse hasn't raced since the 17th of June 2022. He rolls up first up into a Nullarbor Consolation. He's been beaten 8 metres, ducking and weaving, looking for a run. 155.6 over the 2,500 metres. They went 57.9 the first half, 57.9 the second half. I think what I most liked about While They Pray's performance is the fact that he's just such a trier. Like, with everything this horse has been through with his injuries, just love the way that every gap he saw, he took, and he just races with this intensity. You can see the way he runs through the line that he just loves being out there and loves racing and loves competing. So from his trial to that first up run, how much he improved. If he does that again next start and he finds a suitable race, he's going to go very close to winning. So he is one to follow While They Pray, and I hope he stays sound for the camp because they deserve wins in town with him, and his performance was just outstanding. So I loved his run. I thought Karana was really good to be able to get over the top and run into third in a race that was devoid of really any speed and was leader bias for sure. And Karana was able to run past that flying machine, Gilmac, right at the line. But look, I like the performance, and a bit like Ollie, if this horse can just get away a little bit better, it's going to absolutely win a lot of races this preparation, and I agree with Ollie in the last Grand Coteau. She's always been one that I've liked, and I like the way that she really dug in for the fight, and she had to cover the ground down the back straight. They got home really quickly, so she's going to find a race to win very soon. But yeah, those are the three, but yeah, really taken by the performance of While They Pray. All
right, so Karana and Grand Coteau, the ones that were universally agreed on by Ollie and Matt, and then While They Pray as well. So, to today, we roll on and we get to Pinjarra. We've got 9 races to look forward to down there. Matt, I'll start with you. You're straight away getting into this card today, race number 1.
Yeah, absolutely. I like this race. I like Uptown Lad a lot. I thought he would just win, personally. I think with a safe getaway, I know he's got the ODS stamp to his name, but he normally steps just okay. Looking at the horses off 10 metres, I think Shamani is probably the only one that would be able to begin quick enough to trouble him. He just needs to step safely, and I think if he does, Tennyson, Bonnie Ray would both look to take cover on him, and Uptown Lad, it'll be a concerning watch, I guess, if you are watching him, because from the 12 to the 800 metres, he normally takes charge and gets away from the field. But I think he's fitter. It's a short course stand, and I think he'll be able to get the job done. So if you're getting anything better than even money about him, I think it's good shopping. And in that same race, I thought Bonnie Ray was a decent place chance. I think this is a suitable grade for her, and I think she'll stick to the helmet really well in that event. But yeah, race 1, number 3, Uptown Lad was one of my better bets on the card, Tim.
Keep going to race 5 for us.
Okay, I can do that for you. Race number 5, this was a race that I was happy to play a little bit wider. I was happy to be with Dream Control as a main play in the event. I thought Dream Control's first up run was good, and second up didn't have a great deal of luck. And I just thought was going to map into this event really nicely. So I was happy to be with Dream Control on an each-way basis in this race. So going with her, but saving on She's a Lucky Penny and Recover Lover, who are both gone up half-decent prices, and I think they're going to be in dominant positions as well. So 6 is the main play. Happy to save on the 2 and the 8 in that event. And in the 8th event, I was happy to be with Gold Horseshoe on an each-way basis. I really liked him last start, and he did things wrong, but he was a silly, silly price. He was about $1.20 on that occasion. This time, he's going to be about $4 or $5. I don't think it's a much stronger field. 2,600 metres, bigger track suits him, and I thought Gold Horseshoe each way was a good play in race number 8.
All right, Gold Horseshoe there in race 8 to go with Dream Control in race number 5 with a save on She's a Lucky Penny and Recover Lover, and then Uptown Lad with a save on Bonnie Ray in the opener for Matt. And Ollie, you're also going to the top of the program for the first of your best today.
I'm on the exact same page as Matt here. I thought Uptown Lad looked extremely well under the conditions of this race to come off the front, and the short course stand, he can get a bit keen, but over the short course, I think the back markers will just be too far away to end up catching him. And I thought the exact same thing as Matt, that Bonnie Ray was quite a big price, especially a place. So could play both of them, I think, in that race.
All right. Now, race number 6, the next of yours.
In race 6, I thought Wall Street Girl was absolutely outstanding last start. She made a mid-race move to whip around the field and looked like she was going to beat Rattling Lily for the whole way up the straight. But I thought, given the work she did in the middle of the race when they were really running a pretty quick middle half, I thought she was outstanding to stick on and be so close to a pretty handy horse in Rattling Lily in the end. I think there could be some genuine tempo here early. And if there is any genuine tempo with a few go-forward types on the front row, then I think Wall Street Girl can come right over the top. And she seems to like racing at Pinjarra, so I thought she was value.
All right, and race number 8.
Call Me What You Want is a horse that I've always had a lot of time for. I think it's a really, really nice horse, and his last few runs, he just hasn't had a lot of luck after winning, and I think here, despite his slow getaway in a trial, he was fairly safe, and he was able to win the trial in the end. So I think if he can just balance up early, settle somewhere in the field, and they can use his really high speed late, then I think Call Me What You Want will be really hard to beat. And I think around 220 is okay value.
All right, so Uptown Lad, Wall Street Girl and Call Me What You Want in race 1, 6 and 8 respectively today for Ollie. Matt going with Uptown Lad in race number 1 as well. Dream Control in race 5, Gold Horseshoe in race 8. Now, gents, last week at Gloucester Park, across the night, Matt, obviously with Got a Good Warhol, Trit Bang Bang was the place heavy bet there, so you were all over it in the opener last week, and Walsh as well.
Don't want to talk about it.
And then Ollie as well. Clearly, Cabsav got well supported. That was one that you threw out, and Sister Sammy ran second last week. So we're right in and around it last week at Gloucester Park on the Tuesday, gents. Ollie, I'm going to go to you. Firstly, race 4 tomorrow night is where you're keen to get involved.
The horse that's racing really well at the moment in this race is G. Smith. He's got a pretty awkward draw here, but the one horse, Alpha Prince, does have pretty good gate speed. So I think Alpha Prince can come out hard and then has options from there, whether it wants to sit on a horse like Have a Go Joe or something else. And I think G. Smith will get a really, really good run 3 pegs. And if they run along and he can get off, I think he'll be really dangerous late.
All right. And you're going to the Trotters event for the second of your specials.
Saloon is racing absolutely brilliantly at the moment. I think he's found a really, really good race here. Drawn 2 on the mobile. He's just been so consistent recently, and I think he can finally break through. I really did think he'd win last start, but I'm happy to back up again, and I think this looks really, really suitable. There's probably not a lot of trotters in this race that are going that well, so I think he can get away with this one.
All right, so that is G. Smith and Saloon in race 4 and 9 there for Ollie. Now, race number 8, Matt, you're going to wait until late. You'll keep us up nice and late here. The first of yours, race 8.
Yeah, Lucky Lou Whitby, I thought last run was really good and will be better for the run. I thought the trial was good. This horse has got some speed, and I think there's a few options in how Lucky Lou Whitby can go about this race. So race 8, number 3, Lucky Lou Whitby, happy to be with that runner. I do agree with Ollie in the last with Saloon. I think Saloon's really picked up the last couple of runs and are starting to learn a lot more about racing and racing in WA, it seems, and it looks like Nigel Johns is learning plenty about him. But I was really taken by the run of Stay Focused last start, and I just thought in a race where there could be a little bit going on in the early stages, I was happy to be with Stay Focused, who could just be sitting out the back and waiting to sprint home. And I thought compared to the trials and the first first run that we saw from Stay Focused last start, went to the line looking for a run and bolting up behind them in a race that's not my gate one in a Metro event. I just thought Stay Focused might be an each way play. So race 8, number 3 each way. Race 9, number 7 each way. That was how I saw Gloucester Park, but Tuesday's been a bit of a graveyard for me lately. So hopefully it changes.
You're all around it, Matt. You're all around it. Hopefully you can...
Oh, yeah, but nowhere near it, Tim. Nowhere near it, Tim. All around it, nowhere near it.
Let's hope
it's like my golf game.
Let's hope tomorrow night
it's like the Fremantle Dockers.
Do you want to talk about that, do you? Matt, let's hope tomorrow night that you're able to, in the golfing context, get a few birdies and maybe even some better than that as well with Lucky Lou Whitby, and Stay Focused, but clearly respecting Ollie's tip there as well, Saloon, who Ollie is also with G. Smith in race 4. All right, gents, Fremantle Cup. Again, hopefully we'll have the barrier draw tomorrow morning on Tab Radio, working through some of the formalities, but hopefully tomorrow morning on the Sports Daily we'll have a Fremantle Cup barrier draw. Right now, can you leave me with a tip pre-draw, Ollie?
Lavrajoa just couldn't go past this run in the Nullarbor. I thought it was outstanding. With a draw in the Freo Cup, I think he'll be winning.
All right, Matt?
Jumping Jack Mac.
Jumping Jack Mac, yep. 2 of the hard luck stories out of the weekend. All right, gents, have a terrific week. We'll do it all again. We'll tidy up the Freo Cup next Monday morning. Good punting.